evening, cult members. Welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is going to be our spoiler discussion review reaction to episode 3 of She-Hulk, The People versus Emil Blonsky. We all, if you watched the previous episode, we knew this was coming.
Right.
Three things with this episode, as I'm sitting here thinking about it as we're getting ready to kind of do this whole thing. We're going to talk about the trial itself.
Okay.
And Wong and everything like that that's going on. The self-awareness of the show. But I want to start with, the episode starts with the conversation of She-Hulk is now out there in the world and the internet commentary about She-Hulk.
Right.
And all the comments and the TikToks and the people saying, I'm all over having a cool superhero, but why does it have to be a woman? Or I'm going to just say we're a minute and a half into this. If you're one of those people who don't understand why this show is so good and what they're kind of overall going with, and if you are review bombing or talking bad about having a female-led show that's a superhero show, boy, you missing the mark. Thanks for the click. Get the fuck out. They are having fun and being snarky about stupid white boy small dick assholes in their basement, pointing out, like, she's just a really good lawyer who got sucked into being a superhero, and now she's having to live with it. And you guys were all like, well, I don't know. Do we need another female superhero? And why does she get all the powers? Why is there another white guy doing it and stuff? And it's just, I love that Marvel is addressing it.
They didn't invent this character, like, today.
Yeah.
She's been out there for a while.
She's been out there for a long time before a lot of the heroes that you love in the MCU exist as we know it.
Yeah, well, the 90s, right?
I think it's the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, I thought they were
it was based off of the Bionic Woman. Bionic Woman time period.
Yeah. So that was like the 70s. Yeah.
It was Stan and Ditko and all them kind of like working that way towards that kind of having that idea. But I love that Marvel addressed it. And and the way they addressed it too was tongue firmly in the cheek, which is what the show is.
Right. People are going to miss it, but that's fine.
We didn't. That was the first thing I thought.
No, I know, but the people that it's aimed towards are going to, if they're even still watching it, so it doesn't. But, and this was filmed a while ago, so it's like they knew.
They knew. As soon as they knew, they had to have had the conversation before they even decided to do Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because all of that's about a black man being Captain America and being a black man in America and what that means and being the symbol of America and all that stuff. So they must have had the conversation then, and then when they greenlight She-Hulk, there had to be another conversation because they were like, we're going to talk about it here, we're going to talk about it down the line.
Right.
And I'm just waiting for them to do like a full-on series with a gay or trans character and just see how the Christian right has a hissy fit about it. Like they kind of addressed it with America Chavez in Multiverse.
Yeah,
I want a full-on. I want a love story with two gay, lesbian, trans plus community, whatever. I want that story. I think it would be kind of fun. But so yes, we're those people. Let's talk about the trial.
Which one? There were two.
Let's talk about Blonsky's trial real quick, because he is the avatar that they are bouncing everything off of, the male gaze, the male chauvinistic, being the dick to women kind of thing.
Blonsky?
Not no, Banowski, the other one.
Okay.
It's okay. Blonsky and Bukowski.
Okay.
Because Marvel hates us. It's not Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Bukowski. Dennis and Emil.
Bukowski.
Yeah. I've already told people they got a small dick and fuck off, so I can't say Bukaki too. His trial is he is the in-universe avatar that they're going off of with how he treats women and how he thinks that he's all that in a bag of chips and everything. And I like that Pug is the actual really good guy. He was able to win the case by using Jennifer to come in and kind of talk smack about him. And,
right. Which, yeah. And he completely... Bukowski was just like... He was mad at first and then just completely blew it. Like, if anybody was hoping that he would be like, oh, wow, I'm really not a great guy. No. And because he was still, as they were leaving the courthouse, he was like, "You think I have a shot with
Megan the Stallion?"
Megan the Stallion, yeah. No, you don't.
And I. This will get into the meta-ness of it a little bit, but I love that they are self-aware enough that they actually had a whole conversation with Jennifer about the cameo of the week thing.
Yeah.
And then we got two in this one. We got Wong and we got Megan the Stallion in the episode. So I just like that they, again, self-aware, addressed it.
Yeah.
I liked, though, they were, for the lawyer part of it, they were showing that he actually was trying to help Emil. Like, he actually, with his, at least the way it's presented, has actually been reformed, and his escape was forced upon him, just like becoming the Abomination, becoming a super soldier, all of that stuff. So you have this where the lawyer is actually doing good stuff and doing helping somebody who is reformed try to become free, and then you have another good lawyer, but a good guy lawyer, helping some sleazebag win a case in court.
I mean, you know, it wasn't a. Yes, he's a sleazebag, but I mean, he was tricked.
He was
out of money. So I mean, it's a fair. It's not like they were trying to get her to pay for something that she didn't, actually do or whatever. But I feel like Emil is playing the long game. I think that somebody convinced him to play the long game, and he, proved that he can control it. Blah 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 blah. But in the credit
animation,
yeah, you see him in the transportation in the bus, leaving his pen pals behind who are crying. So I think that he's going off to be with
Val,
the Thunderbolts, whatever, and he just played a very long game.
I think somebody helped him. I mean, even Bruce. I mean, Bruce helped him kind of control Abomination, right? That was how they set it up,
right? And that only helps him, whether he's a bad guy or a good guy, being able to control it.
Yeah, absolutely
helps him, helps whoever he's going to go work with. They can't just have him going off,
Right. You need to have. He needs to be controllable, because if you have an uncontrollable thing with that group, that uncontrollable thing's going to become the focus, and that Thunderbolts itself are kind of, I won't say clandestine, but supposed to work behind the scenes and under the radar.
Well, and it's just not helpful to be this super bad guy, super monster, whatever you want to call him, if he can't control it. So, I mean, it helps him to be able, him and whoever he's going to go work with, that he can control changing.
Right. I like in the trial that they laid out the pen pals. Now, okay, I'm still thinking that the pen pals, the girls who came out were actually just stand-ins for his real pen pals, or at least that's the misdirect. Like, he did actually have pen pals, but those letters were actually, or those conversations were going in code to somebody else.
Right, they could have been going to these girls, but they were the Pony Express.
Totally,
the deliverers.
Totally.
Yeah.
But in that trial process, while they're waiting for Wong, because apparently he's Flash and is always late to everything, him explaining, to become Sorcerer Supreme, I had to take him out, and that's how we get the fight with the two of them and Shang-Chi. But like that whole explanation, I think some people are not going to like, but I like it for Wong's character more for Emil's character, because Phase 4 is the Wongverse. Nobody's going to tell me anything different, and the fact that he's been in every little thing. I mean, they even pointed out, like, of course you're all here to see Wong because he's in everything,
right?
You know,
right.
But his explanation,
I think it. I'm not going to say I don't like it, but it doesn't feel complete.
Right.
I feel like there's more to that story, and some people are probably going to say, you know, it doesn't make sense, and Marvel doesn't know what they're doing, and blah blah blah. Hold on,
right?
It's coming. Right. They're not going to put that in the post credits for Shang-Chi or in the movie if it didn't mean something. So I think there's more.
There's
because Wong has said a couple of times how actually in the Strange movie they talked about, and I think in No Way Home they talked about how Wong is Sorcerer Supreme now, and it's not Steven, and they've talked about it a bunch. So
yeah, and I like that they used the fight with Abomination for Wong as his trial by combat kind of, you know,
right.
part to become the Sorcerer Supreme. But there is something coming down the line with Wong. I mean, he was working on the bracelets with like it just there's something coming down. Like, he's going to open the portal and Galactus is going to come through, or Silver Surfer is going to come through.
I don't know.
It's going to be something like that. He's going to be, and I feel like we're going to get something even more in Black Panther because Phase 4 is the Wongverse, and so
it's not even. Maybe it's a shapeshifter, or maybe he's a Skrull.
If he's a Skrull, that blows the doors off of everything.
Yeah, because it just feels weird. Why does he have to, like Steven didn't have to do something like that to prove that he was.
They just kind of appointed him
Sorcerer Supreme, and why at. I mean, he wasn't even. He wasn't at Kamar-Taj. He was
at the New York Sanctum. He was actually
no. The fight.
The Wong fight?
The Wong and Emil fight.
Yeah, that's
Why there?
Yeah,
why did you have to fight him? That doesn't like that whole thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something more.
There's something more. I agree. He's a Skrull. We're going with the Skrull. Everybody's a Skrull until I'm told differently.
Or apparently an elf from New Asgard.
Or an elf. That was the running joke that they kept, like, they talked about the whole, here's the cameo of the week, whatever.
Right.
And so I turned to her and I'm like, are we going to get Valkyrie in the next episode showing up to grab Runa? Because she's running around impersonating Pug and the Judge and Megan the Stallion. And is it Valkyrie that's going to show up? I mean, Thor's not on Earth. He's with the Guardians at this point in time.
Yeah.
So it's Valkyrie or it's Korg if Korg shows up. Oh my god! Or Meek. Actually, it's gonna be Meek in the suit, to come and .
How does Meek walk?
He's got little tiny legs and then scissor hands. Actually, I think the new
Cord
version
had
of him
to
doesn't
take
have
him
the scissor
everywhere.
hands because he was doing the minutes at the.
Oh yeah.
meeting.
They must have figured out hands.
But Meek's gonna show up. That's it. That's
the next cameo.
I put my flag in the dirt for that. But the trial, I feel, is a complete misdirect with Emil, with Blonsky.
Yeah.
He's very much sitting back in the chair, legs crossed. Hey, can I add an extra thing? Interrupting the jury.
Yeah, it's almost like he knew it was a foregone conclusion that he was getting out.
Like he's going to get out either the legal way or the other way. So,
or whoever he's going to work with
Val.
bought off the panel, or at least enough of the panel that they released him.
The way Jennifer Waller's as she presents it, it's a compelling case. I understand it, whatever.
It is,
but also I think they hedged some bets.
But they were all screaming and scared to death when he turned into the abomination. So, as soon as that happened, you're like, he just screwed the pooch on that one because they're hiding under the desk and screaming for their lives.
Right.
And I don't know.
And then they all come back. It's the next day, so they all come back in new outfits, but they're much more calm.
Yeah.
And the woman that was kind of always in center frame. There was three off on one side, her, and then one person to her left. She was always center frame, but she was last to walk in on the second day of the trial. So she's at least a Skrull.
They're all Skrulls.
But I just, like you were talking about earlier, there's all these dangling threads out there that I just don't know what is what and who is who and what is going on.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the speculation part and the conversation that we're having. But we're coming to a point where they're going to have to start tying a bunch of this stuff up.
Yeah.
And if they come back at the end of She-Hulk before we get into Black Panther, and they're like, oh, by the way, here's a post-credit scene, because we know each episode has a post-credit scene. There's 9 episodes. We've got 6 left. The final post-credit scene is they have a Zoom call, for the lack of it, and it's Sharon Carter, it's the judge, it's not the judge, but it's the parole officer person. It's like they tie all the series up to get into Secret Wars, which then leads us into Thunderbolts. It's it just kind of feels like that's maybe where they're going. I also could be completely wrong, and nobody's a Skrull, and it's just timey-wimey and shit.
I think there's Skrulls. I mean, there's Skrulls out there. We know it. So we know they're impersonating people because they impersonated
Fury.
Yes, Nick Fury. So
yeah, that's Talos and his wife are Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah,
there is Talos because Fury's off trying to whatever. I just had a thought though. At the end of WandaVision, not the capper on WandaVision, but the last little bit when they're cleaning up the town, the FBI agent comes over and grabs Monica Rambeau and says, "Hey, they want to meet you. They have a conversation. They need to meet you in the theater."
She goes into the theater.
She goes in the theater and she turns into a Skrull, and that's the first outside of Talos and his wife being Fury and Mary Hill. That's the first one where it's they really could be anybody. And if you start adding Talos is here, we got that one, we've got all these kind of different players laying their groundwork for different things, and the espionage part of what Secret War is going to be. If you set up all these pieces and then at one point you just ta-da, here they all are. I think that, and it would be really interesting to do it in this show because it's the yuck. Let's talk about whatever, and then you have to throw this major thing at the end. So that's everybody's a Skrull. We're on that track. But I like this episode. I like the series overall, and I don't like waiting. This is one of the ones where I want to binge a three episode set because it's only 30 minutes.
Right.
Don't want to binge 3, give us a week, come back, binge 3, give us a week, binge 3, and then we can start Andor. So let us know what you thought of this episode and our reaction and discussion about it in the comments down below. Please be nice. It's a requirement around here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Links in the description down below. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.